Hello everybody, welcome to my DIY of a candle holder. My dad found this piece of wood a long time ago. He covered it with polish and he made that flat spot to make it stand, well, somewhat stand because it's still wobbly and very unstable. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to make a candle holder out of it. So I needed to make all the surfaces straight before I do anything else. Believe it or not, this was the most difficult part. Every time I think I drew a right line, I put it the right way up and it's not even close to what it should be. So my bet was to actually keep it the right way up to draw these lines. And that wasn't difficult because it wasn't stable to start with. But after a while, I realized the way to do it and I went into cutting. I tried to check if my lines were horizontal to the surface to see if they were actually straight. And this worked in some way. Alright, it's time for the tools. Don't judge me on my handsaw skills. I haven't used one since I was probably in middle school in Girl Scouts when we went camping. And then I actually figured out it was easier to do it off the edge without really scratching the table. I actually like my table a lot. To my surprise, I actually did an okay job and nobody got hurt. These surfaces were actually pretty straight. This little one, on the other hand, gave me a little bit of a hard time. It was just located in the spot that wasn't comfortable to cut, so I had to play around with it before I figured it out. After a while of playing around with this, I figured out the best corner to cut this, and when I got to the end, I actually had my husband hold the tip that was on the table so I get a flat spot, and thank you so much for that, honey. Alright, so I finally got to use some power tools. This one's not mine, it's my dad's. I borrowed it from him, but I don't think he's getting it back anytime soon. I have a few more DIYs that this thing will actually help me a lot and save a lot of time with sanding. And remember that little knob that was so difficult to cut? Well, I did cut it at the wrong angle. So this actually helped me to flatten the area the way I wanted it to be cut. I have to admit, I really like this tool, so you're gonna see a lot of it in my future videos. I actually did an okay job sanding, and see the part that I'm showing with my finger, that's what I actually made with the sander. It was still really wobbly, and if I'm putting fire on there, it needs to be stable, so I don't want it tipping over when my kids are running around. So those little knobs that I actually cut off, I was gonna glue them on the bottom to make it more stable. See? Such an easy fix. I had this candle holder forever. I never use it, it's too many candles, it gets hot. So I figured if I cut them, I can actually use those for this project. I'll be honest, I did not cut them, my husband did. When you cut metal, it shoots out sparkles, and I'm terrified of those because my dad actually went to emergency because one of those little sparkles went into his eye. So my husband did it and he was nice enough to make that little hole to make the screwing part a little bit easier. So note for everybody who wants to cut metal, wear safety goggles. You don't want an unplanned visit to emergency room. Because this is so wobbly, it was actually really hard to get the screw in to go in straight. At this point, I'm so ecstatic because this is looking exactly the way I want it to look. I knew that I wanted to put 3 candles. That little branch actually worked out really good. It was thick enough for the screw to go in without breaking it in two. Oh my goodness, has anybody else noticed that my screwdriver is actually the same color as that sanding tool? I think it's meant to be. I am so happy the way it turned out. It looked exactly how I imagined it to be in my head. But there was still one thing wrong with it. It was still really wobbly and needed to be fixed. So I put some glue on there, taped it up, and left it for it to dry. Here it is, all done with burning candles. And I wanted to point out that those battery candles also fit into those little slots, so I could use those with my kids around. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe to my channel. There are more videos like this coming up, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.